So I run across a lot of videos where women are complaining about the whole dating scene. They complain that men don't approach them, that they can't find any good men, that dating has become hard. But a lot of them are not looking at the actual reality of the situation. And so I'll see women go through this cycle, right? They start off at about 20, they go into their party phase, spend their youth partying, drinking, being run through by men after men, basically living a life of no worries, no responsibilities, not really looking into the future. But then they hit 30. Around this time, typically one of two things happen. One is they'll try to get married as soon as possible because they realize their biological clock is ticking. Number two, which is happening a lot more, is that they'll ignore it. They get into this delusion that they're still 20 and they just keep going. They don't change anything. But just because she doesn't see the reality of the situation does not mean it does not exist. And as time goes on, she gets less of the men that she wants. And this makes her upset. And this video shows what that looks like.
When you say I don't chase women, my first initial thought is, well, then go find your man. You likely aren't making plans. You aren't initiating conversation. Your text messages are really dry. What are you doing? Are you wanting the woman to chase you? Because if that's the case, then you probably aren't even into women. You're probably into men. I just don't get it when men say things like this. You probably don't text first in the morning. You don't say good morning. You don't say good night. You don't check in. Like, you want to be single. That's what you should be. If you're not pursuing a woman, then you want to be a woman. Like, this is the problem with guys nowadays. They're so feminine that they want the women to do their job. No.
Right, so they get bitter and resentful and resort to humiliating men as a way to try to get men to approach them again. Like that ever worked. How absolutely fitting of modern women. When I see these types of videos, I always have to read between the lines because women don't just make these types of video out of the blue. What really happened was a specific situation happened with a very specific person, and very recently. So in this case, what I think happened was she was out with her friends. In her mind, she's still 20. So she goes out with her friends, goes out for drinks, or maybe any other type of social situation. I don't know. She just reminds me of somebody that would go to a bar. But what probably happened was some guy caught her eye, some 6-foot-tall Chad, and she tries to get him to make a move on her. Or she makes the move. But typically what they'll try to do is they'll say they made eye contact and that was their move. I mean, in that case, everybody would be hitting on everybody because people make eye contact. But either way, he doesn't approach her. Instead, he goes for some 20-year-old. And she can't have it. That upsets her. And that's why she's online here saying this. She didn't get that ego boost she wanted. Okay, I have another example here.
I just canceled a date with a guy because I didn't fucking want to go. And the reason I did not want to go is this. He doesn't listen. For example, he asks me, what neighborhood do you prefer? I tell him. He then sends me 3 options of places in completely different neighborhoods that are way far away from that neighborhood. I'm like, LOL, none of those are in that neighborhood that I said. He's like, oh, I'm not familiar with your neighborhood. Meanwhile, he told me that he had lived there for like a couple of months. So I said that, I'm like, didn't you live there for a couple of months? And he's like, yeah, like these are the places that I liked. List like a bunch of places that were pretty good. So I'm like, why didn't you just choose one of those places? So then I was like, okay, like this place is fine, whatever. And then he's like, you can be my tour guide. I'm like, I'm not your fucking tour guide. Like, I hate that shit. I hate when people are like, oh, can you can I pick your brain? Like, can you be my like, why are you making me work? Like, I've never even met you in my life, and you're already wanting me to work for free.
Oh my God, the delusion and entitlement here it's out of control. So she's not the first choice. Women like this don't realize that the older women get, the less effort men tend to put into them. And that's why they always stay single. They're too picky, they're insufferable, they don't work on themselves. And when they do work on themselves, it's all about the plastic surgery, the makeup, the clothes, the designer bags, etc. I'm not saying it's good or bad, right or wrong, for women to always stay in their 3 or 4 phase. What I am saying is they need to lower their expectations when they do. They cannot be expected to be treated as the number one chick by the time they hit their 30s and 40s.
If you've just started seeing a man and you've noticed that all of his past relationships have been with much younger, like 10, 15 years younger than him, women, girl run. There is a reason why that man chooses younger women. And it's not because of their looks. Well, it might be a little bit because of their looks, but not the main reason. The main reason is they have the emotional intelligence of that age range. And they want to like have a Peter Pan type syndrome. They want to continue to be young forever. So dating this type of woman, a woman who's very carefree, doesn't have so much responsibilities, doesn't have children, and actual tasks to get through on a daily basis, they can just go out and drink and do whatever. That's the kind of man he wants to be. That's his real self. And on top of that, younger women don't know any better. So they'll stick around longer. So if they're looking for a quote-unquote long-term partner, which these people like have intermittent stages with these people, they'll choose a younger partner who doesn't know all of the things that us older generation women do. Like maybe that you're a narcissist, or that cheaters never stop cheating, or you're not even really a provider, and mainly you're just broke.
All right, so she's accusing men of the things that she herself is doing. So the reality here, more than likely, is she went out with some guy, or she was married to him, and now he's with somebody younger. And she's obviously not very happy about it. Of course, women that are younger are generally more better looking, but she doesn't consider that maybe he went younger because women that are younger probably have less baggage, less children from different men, less debt, lower body count, less mistakes. Now, I don't care what people do. People make their own decisions. But what is annoying is when women spend their youth not taking any responsibility, over the years doing a lot of things that they're unhappy with, and then make it everybody else's problem. When I see them on TikTok complaining about not being able to get married, not being able to date, saying that dating's hard. But the truth of the matter is now the men that they probably want don't want to run through 30-year-olds. It's that simple. The bottom line is some people just choose to live in delusion over reality. And the reality of the situation is the higher the body count, the more time that's spent partying and not taking care of ourselves, the more time spent on TikTok complaining about our problems and how men are responsible for everything, the lower in value women go. Yeah, let me know what you think about all this. See you next time.